too often those regulations become inhibitors to the innovation, and even the simplest of items can be difficult to get approved. Buying and selling. So these are the professionals that are involved in the real estate buying and selling process. Our real estate agents, our mortgage brokers, our lenders, our appraisers. They need to demonstrate leadership in how we redefine the value of these homes. Anybody that's doing this right now knows that the appraisal side is very challenging. It's very difficult to realize value for some of these inputs that we're putting in. It's not simply about hardwood floors, granite counters, square footage. So why is it important for these stakeholders to lead in the redefinition of the value? We did a survey as part of some of our, we're doing a feasibility study in a number of areas right now. So we did a survey and we found out that it was a survey to the habits of home buyers. Many of these have been done. We just tried to ask a few different questions. More people turn to realtors and builders for their home purchase advice than anyone else. We were a little surprised by the realtors being in there that high, the highest one. If realtors and builders are not on board, we've lost an opportunity to redefine the value, or to have a key ally in helping to redefine that value. And realtors, in our experience, and we've gone through a lot, we work very hard. We're engaged with the Go Green Realtor program right now happening in Calgary. And we're finding that there's very, very, very few that truly believe that this adds any value at all. It's probably one of our biggest barriers. So is green holding us back? I've already explained that we dropped the word green in favor of high performance, but how we talk about green, I think, that's what's holding us back. So would a coffee drinker even know what that is? If someone just goes to, wants black coffee, would they know what that is? Likewise, how many home buyers know what an HRV is, or a MERV 10 filter? It leads to that question of how much does it cost? So jargon and complexity are confusing. It doesn't help us sell green. What might the response be if a homeowner was told that the air in your home is exchanged in a controlled way each hour to keep it fresh and healthy, and by the way, you might not even have to dust as often. So that MERV 10 filter, we've done this. We've done sort of informal kind of having fun with buyers. We only do this when we kind of know we have a rapport with that buyer. We'll first say it's a MERV 10 filtration system, blah, 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 and they look at it and say, that's great. How much does that cost? Because the filters are like $50. And then I say, it's just a really good filter. You won't have to worry about the particulates in the air. If your kids have asthma, it's a much better filter. And by the way, you have to dust almost like once every 2 weeks. Like dusting will go way down. I'll take it. It's as simple as that. As an industry, we seem to be equally confused, and it's easy to see how a buyer would be baffled by the choices. For example, we have many different rating programs. We have LEED, Built Green. Is Built Green out here? I think it is. EnerStar, EnerGuide, Passive House. So which is best for me? When and how will a buyer get to the point where they expect a LEED certification, for example, with the purchase of their home? And why can't a buyer conduct a search on an MLS based on an EnerGuide rating? I want to tell my realtor, don't look for anything under EnerGuide 82. So when we were working on the wall types for our high performance pilot project, we did some research and we went to one of the industry websites, buildingscience.com. Great resource to look it up. This is an example of 3 different wall types that come up when we search for high performance wall. One of them is not even a high R value wall, but they almost have the exact same value as far as how this website rates them. So if a builder who has a better understanding of this gets this, which one am I going to build as a builder? Well, my price is out, that's the cheapest. I'm going to go there. It's a 17, it's 17. Why would I go there? Why would I build SIPs when I can just build regular interior walls? We don't present this to make a case that we should stick with the conventional way of doing things, but we do present it to say that there's a lot of confusion out there, and if we can't figure it out, why should a buyer care? So how do we move forward? We're really big fans of Simon Sinek. He's got a book called Start With Why, and again, one of the last presentations I heard Start With Why. I was like, yeah, we start with why. That's exactly what we've got to do. So he talks about the concept of the golden circle, and it's a very powerful one when we apply it to high performance homes or green building. And it may be a valuable tool for helping us move forward with this. Cynic states that most of us communicate from the outside of the circle in. So we start with what. We know what we do, often how we do it, but very seldom why. And why isn't to make money, that's an outcome of why we're doing something. So the what in this case, the greenhouse, how we might add some green stuff to it, or maybe have the house third-party certified. And the why is, why do we build green homes and why should anyone care? Why green is popular? If we start the opposite way, the message sounds quite different. Our why? Better homes. That's one of our whys. That's one we use a lot. Simply better homes. So green equals better. Another why could be we believe in reducing the impact of housing on the environment, or we believe in building homes that will enhance the lives of their occupants. Something that resonates with a buyer. And why should someone care about what you do? Cynic emphasizes that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Our how is a holistic approach to designing the building and building the home. And our what is a high performance home. And now would you like to buy one? It's a very different way of understanding that message. And he's got a great TED Talk. Part of what I just said right now is right in his TED Talk. Listen to it. It's a great, I've listened to it probably 50 times. It's excellent.
Who's that?
Simon Sinek. So it brings me to the curse of knowledge. And again, this was alluded to as well, every one of the other presenters saying. As mentioned, we've been on a steep curve, Jigsaw has, to building high performance homes. And as we became more and more knowledgeable, we became more and more distant at talking to our clients. We were no longer talking about spaces, we were talking about technical stuff, BTU heat loss, things like that. So we found it very challenging to communicate complex ideas simply. So what we discovered was the curse of knowledge, and again, this is identified in a book called Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. I'll just read you the quote quickly. The great cruelty of the curse of knowledge. The better we get at generating great ideas, new insights, and novel solutions in our field of expertise, the more unnatural it becomes for us to communicate those ideas clearly. And that's why knowledge is a curse. But notice we said unnatural, not impossible. Experts just need to devote a little time to applying the basic principles of stickiness. Enter the blessing of simplicity. So we searched around and found this on a blog called Brand Autopsy. It's one of the better blogs around. And they say the antidote to the curse of knowledge is the blessing of simplicity. Using simple, easy to understand words will make you look smarter because you've communicated your complex advice in an easy to digest way. This is something we live every day. So every meeting we have, every time we're talking about a new idea, how do you distill it down to its most simple, basic terms? Not because people are dumb. That's not why. It's just you only get a minute to convey the idea. And if you get bogged down in all the technical stuff, you never get there. If you start off simply, they want to know more. Then you get to get into that conversation about why is that filter better? How does it work? What is the technical parts of it? So at the end of the day, it'll be the consumer that will decide if green homes will become mainstream. And they will do so because they will expect homes to be built better. How we talk about what we do, and more importantly, why we do it, is very important. So let's not ignore the pixel, because pixel by pixel, we create that big picture. So we really like to keep hearing from anyone that wants to keep this dialogue going. It's kind of what feeds us. So I invite you to connect with me via email, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't care how. We're engaged in all that kind of stuff. And we've met some really great people doing it all over the world. Any questions or discussion?
Do you do any multi-unit residential?
We've done small multi-unit. We did a 17-unit building. We did a few years of 17. That's the biggest one we've taken on. But it was kind of when we were just getting going on the single-family stuff here. So while it was built really well, it wasn't built with the intention to be high performance. Yeah.
So, what is your house built that's different than a standard house? Like, what kind of insulation are you putting in?
So you want some technical now?
Yeah.
Sticky.
That's okay, I can give it to you. So this, I mentioned, that the one that I showed you up here, we were constrained by an urban infill lot. It's 25 feet wide. With the city setbacks of 4 feet per side, the house can be 17 feet wide. We aren't gonna go with a foot wide wall, which is what I'd love to have done. We have to be careful with that, because as it is, the house is 15 foot 11 inches on the inside, narrow,
With 2 by 6.
with 2 by 6.
Yeah.
So if I go up to 2 by 8 or 2 by 10, it's all coming off the inside because our city won't let us hang it off the
Right.
outside. So we were stuck, and we felt we had to respect the market in this case, so let's stay with the 2 by 6 wall, and we employed some advanced framing techniques to start with to reduce